Hello. Okay, I haven't done one of these videos in a while, but you know what? I've been really looking forward to our first glimpse into James Gunn's Superman that releases next year. One of my most anticipated movies of next year. And so the trailer, it's a teaser trailer. It dropped this week and I've watched it a couple of times already, but I just want to sort of go through it with you guys and just sort of really discuss or just really sort of share how I felt about the trailer and what we sort of do get a glimpse of within this telling, this iteration of Superman. So enough rambling, let's jump straight into the trailer. Okay, let's go. So here we're opening, obviously, Superman, he's taken a beating, and again, I love this already because we're sort of seeing an aspect of Superman that will allow him as a character to become a little bit more relatable due to the fact that he can get injured. He can get hurt like the rest of us. Yes, it might take a little bit more, but the fact that you've got this scene here with him struggling to breathe, he shoots, he spits the blood, and there's also a sort of a tiny bit of a grittiness there, and I'm sort of going to delve more into that in a moment because I feel like what this trailer does in a very smart way is cater for a lot of different people, a lot of different Superman fans when it comes to Superman on screen. Loving the haircut there. And that's another aspect that I've like about this version that of Superman that James Gunn is bringing to life here with David Corenswet. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But the fact you've got those two different hairstyles going on, and with Clark Kent, it's more of that kind of very kind of curly, sort of scruffy look. Whereas with Superman, when he's Superman, it's more of a slicked back approach. And again, it kind of sort of, it makes sense because otherwise you know that Clark Kent is Superman because it's just too obvious as it's been in the past. So I kind of like that. I like that little detail there that they've done with the character. And one of the aspects that I'm really looking forward to when it comes to this movie is hearing the score by John Murphy. I'm a massive fan of John Murphy as a composer, and I'm so happy when they announced that he was going to be composing the score here. He also did the score for James Gunn's Suicide Squad, which I loved. And here you've got the classic John Williams score there, the theme. With sort of the John Murphy's twist, and I just think it's beautiful, it's fantastic. For me, I was sort of waiting to hear something different, original, but I'm actually quite over the moon. I'm really overjoyed by the fact that they are retaining that very classic John Williams score, because that is Superman, that is Superman's theme, so I'm really happy with that. Just love the guitar there. In many ways, the guitar is sort of really getting across, the music here is really getting across sort of the energy and sort of the vibe that they are going for when it comes to this version, this telling of Superman. The farm. Really nice shot there, really like that. I love this music, and there we go. And like a snowplow, we've got Krypto. Now, I'm one of those people, I'm one of those, when they announced that Krypto was going to be in it, there was a part of me that was like, oh, really? But then there was another half of me that was like, well, this is James Gunn. And it makes sense, knowing that James Gunn is bringing this to life. And so I thought, this could go either way. Like, I've got a lot of faith in James Gunn with this movie and leading the DC, this sort of rebooted DC cinematic universe. Even though he said I think they're less conscious of it all tying together. He wants really good, solid stories that could stand on their own, but I think they are going to obviously connect. Be sort of, when it comes to the story side, maybe less driven by that aspect. And I think that's where the previous version, really, of the DCEU faltered in many ways. But that's another video for another time. But after watching this with Crypto, I'm soaked. Such a cute dog. And again, you've got the music kicking in there. Great shot, like with the slow-mo. Giving me a little bit of a Zack Snyder vibe. But it works here. It looks absolutely beautiful. And it's a classic Superman shot as well. I mean, this is Superman. It just oozes Superman. And we got Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor here. And you also get a quick glimpse there of Superman flying in the background. Now, this is probably my favourite shot in the entire trailer. Because, again, it's one of those aspects of the character of Superman. And this is sort of the aspect that I felt like Zack Snyder did very well. And just going back on what I touched on earlier on in the trailer, like saying, obviously we're seeing an aspect of Superman here where he can get hurt, he's spitting blood. This makes the character a lot more relatable. With Zack Snyder, it was more from an emotional aspect of being an outcast, of being an outsider, and not feeling part of this world. And so you still had that vulnerability to the version that Zack Snyder brought to life. He was still relatable. But you're then adding another layer to it, another layer to the character. And at the same time, this shot really does take me back to Man of Steel. And one of the aspects of what Zack Snyder was trying to do was all about hope. And that, as a race, as a human race, are we doomed? Are we worth, should we survive? Should we be allowed to live? Because of what we can do to each other. And I just think this shot here of this kid, it looks like a war-torn setting or scene. Let me just play that back a little bit. I mean, yeah, you've got bombs going off. It looks like it's it's some sort of war maybe, or uprising or battle somewhere. But you've got this little kid just sort of almost praying. He's praying for Superman. And that's what it's all about. And this moment, I mean, it's only a very small moment in the trailer, but it's very emotional and it sort of says so much on an emotional level. It's quite powerful. And it sort of really, to me, it gives me even more faith and hope that, James Gunn knows exactly what he's doing here and what makes Superman so special. And I do think, I'm a massive fan of Snyder and what he did with Superman and Man of Steel, and it's sort of really honing in on that year with this one shot. But going back again to what I was saying about how I felt the trailer was being really clever, I feel like what they've done in this trailer is really, in a very sort of nice way, is we've got there are hints of Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. There are hints of Christopher Reeve's Superman. And I think it's done in a way that is very clever here. It's honouring what's come before. But to me, it's also showcasing, this trailer is also showcasing what James Gunn is going to add to the character. For me, personally, just from the glimpse that we get of this film through this trailer, it has a very James Gunn vibe to it. But it's also, in many ways, I felt, honouring what has come before and saying, we're not going to forget what made Superman special in those iterations, in those adaptations. And maybe that's just me, I don't know, but that's how the trailer came across to me personally. Nathan Fillion there. I'm actually not sure what his character is. Let me just check. So he's playing Guy Gardner, part of the Green Lantern Corps, I believe. But he looks fantastic. I mean, it's Nathan Fillion. Big kaiju. Don't know what the hell that is in the background there. And I mean, there's even a shot there with Lois Lane sort of slowly rising there. It takes me back to Superman Returns. You know, there seems to be an element from every Superman that's come before. And I just think they've done it in such a beautiful way here. And there we have it. So yeah, loved the trailer. Absolutely loved it. It has that very classic James Gunn feel to it, a vibe. Yeah, it's only a small brief glimpse, but like I said, I think it manages to, in a beautiful way, really kind of capture sort of the core of what it is that, you know, that makes Superman so special. But sort of, for me, kind of acknowledges in many ways, I felt like, what's come before in the briefest of moments. And I do feel like, you know, I feel like Zack Snyder had a very sort of heavy emphasis on that old sort of idea of hope, and are we worth saving, and just being an outcast, an outsider. And, you know, the sort of the magic and the charm of Christopher Reeves, it's sort of all there, but at the same time, it very much has that James Gunn look about it. And it soaked me on the dog, Krypto. I mean, that scene with him, you know, battle damaged, he spit in blood, and then he's struggling to breathe, and then he whistles, and then you got Krypto coming like a fucking snowplow or a fucking bullet train through the snow, and it is fantastic. It just feels magical. It feels right. It looks and feels like Superman. So yeah, cannot wait for the full trailer, and I'm just so damn excited for this movie. Don't get me wrong, you know, I'm a massive fan of what's come before. I mean, I absolutely adore The Man of Steel. That's one of my favourite movies of all time. But I've got faith here with James Gunn that he's also going to bring us something special with his version of this character, with his adaptation of this character. I mean, just look at this poster by her. I fucking love this poster. And that simple tagline of "Look Up," again, just takes me back to sort of like, you know, what it was. And I don't want to keep mentioning Man of Steel all the time, but it's, for me, it was such an important movie. I absolutely adore it. But it kind of, again, really hones in on that kind of like hope, you know, of we need someone like Superman. And I think, you know, I feel like this film is coming at a right time as well. I mean, you know, we're not in a great place in the world right now, and I think we all need a bit of hope. And so, you know, this is a perfect movie, really. Yeah, so look, enough rambling on from me. But what I want to know is, what did you guys think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you agree or disagree with anything I've said? Then please let me know in the comments below, and let's get a discussion going. And if you've made it this far into the video, then thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to watch future movie reviews and just trailer reviews from just some random Welsh geek rambling on, then please hit the subscribe button. It will mean an awful lot to me. My next video will be a movie review for the latest cinema release this weekend, and that is Mufasa, The Lion King. It's a prequel to one of my favourite animated movies of all time. I'm not sure if I feel like we need it, and it's also being told through the same technology as the Lion King live action adaptation, which I was not a fan of. And I've also got a bunch of other videos planned, my top 10 anticipated movies of 2025, as well as my top 10 favourite movies of 2024, and a Christmas special on the way. A hell of a lot planned. It's going to be a very busy week, but that's what's in store for my channel. And just another big thank you to all of those that have connected with the channel and subscribed. It means an awful lot. So yeah, enough rambling from me. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll be catching you guys soon.